In this tutorial, I'm going to cover the basics of creating a Google Classroom and what it takes to set one up, and then we'll go into how you can invite your students, add some documents and videos in for students to utilize in the classroom, whether they're on the computer or on the iPad. They have access to that through their Google account and their Google Drive, which everybody gets with the creation of those accounts. And so in here, the first thing you need to do to get your Google Classroom is just go ahead and log in from a web browser into your Gmail account. There's a link on eldoradoschools.org, or you just go into www.gmail.com and you can log in with your account. So I'm going to go ahead and log into mine, and there's my account. Put in my password and sign in. And when I sign in here, obviously I'm getting into my mail, and you can see all my email from the web browser. But notice up here in the top right hand corner, you've got a little app, Google Apps icon, and if you click on that, it drops down, lets you see all the different apps you have access to in Google. Of course, Mail is in there, your calendar, you can see your Drive, then the other apps that they have. But if you scroll on down, you should have a link to the Google Classroom. And if you click on the Google Classroom, it's going to take you to another link in Google, and notice the address at the top is just simply classroom.google.com. And you can just log in to that site as well, as you could bookmark that if you wanted to and just go to it that way. But notice once I've gone to the classroom.google.com, you can see these are the courses that I've set up, working with some teachers and cadres, and I also have a tech class here at the bottom I'm going to use just for this training, and invite some students into that and so forth. To create a new class is pretty straightforward. If you simply click on the little plus up here at the top, notice you can join a class or you can create a class. You simply go in here, type in create a class, type in the name for it, a section if you have multiple sections of the same thing, and you simply click create and the class is created. And then once you have a class, if you click on that class, I'm going to go to the tech class that I have down below. Notice that this is what the class looks like. It's broken into three parts. You have the stream, which are things that you're putting out there for students to do, or maybe they're adding comments. You have that option to let them comment or not. Then you have, of course, your students. Notice currently I don't have anybody enrolled in this class, but this little code right here is important, because if you want a student to enroll in your class, there's the code that they would use if they go into their app, Google Classroom, or log into their internet email for Google and go into the classroom. They can get to it and enroll it that way as well. And so here's your students, and then you have, of course, About. And if you go into About, this is where you can go in. Of course, currently you can see I'm the teacher for this class. You can actually invite other teachers to this class. So if I wanted to team teach this with somebody else, I could go in and search for other teachers, just plug in their email, they get an invite, and they can participate if you wanted to do something like that for a collaboration type course that you could do as well. And then up here in the top right, you can see currently I've listed my title in here. If I want to change that, see this little icon that on the right, you can go to Edit, and this is where you can add the title for the instructor in there. You can put a class description if you wanted to. You can just type whatever in there. And then on down below, you can put the room if you wanted to. You don't have to. All this is optional. And then it does have a calendar, view in classroom. You can see, you can go in there and see what the calendar looks like in there as well. And so you have those options. Once you make those, you simply save that, and those changes are made. Also, the theme up here, notice I've got a pretty generic theme for this class. It's just the tech class. Over here in the right hand corner, I can go to select the theme, and then you have both a gallery and patterns that you can choose from, and go find something that you think is a little more appealing for that class. I'm going to just select this one here, and I like purple, go figure. and just put that in there. And so just a way to add some more information in there about that. And then once you have the class up and going, then you are able to add other content for the class as well. And so if you go into the stream, and notice I've already added a little video in here, but I can go in if I want to add more things for the students to work on. If I click on this little plus in the bottom right hand corner, if I click on that, notice I can create a question, create an assignment, create an announcement, and that allows me to add things in there. So one thing is I could post a question in here for this class. Okay, so if I wanted to post a question for the class, then notice I went and selected the plus at the bottom right, selected a question. I could put in a title for the question. I just copy and pasted something in there, and I could ask them what I wanted to do. So I'm going to say take a look at a little PDF that I'm going to attach for the students to kind of review. So let's see here, take. So I'm going to have them comment about this chart. So put a little question in there. I could do whatever, and I could put a due date here. Notice you can change the due date. And then I have an attachment. So this is setting on my computer, so I'm going to select this little attachment. And then it takes you into here where it says you can insert files from either Upload, My Drive, or Starred. This one's actually on my computer, so I'm going to select this here, select Files. I know it's in my Downloads folder, so over in the left-hand side I've selected Downloads, and it's Critical Thinking Skills is the one I'm looking for. So this little PDF that I've created actually using the App Genius Scan on my iPad. So I took and created a little PDF of this document, and so I'm able to select it, and I tell it to open, and then notice I have an option. There it is. I'm going to upload it, and now that's going to put that not only into my Google Drive, but also added it to my question. And so here it is. I've got a PDF. I've got the date. I'm happy with the questions, and I simply go to ask. And of course you can always edit this later if you want to. And here's some other options. Once you ask a question in a Google Classroom, it says you want to let others reply yes or no and edit their answers, so you can check that if you want. I'm just going to leave the first one where it's see and reply to each other's answers. So I'm going to let them kind of collaborate a little bit on that. So I tell it to ask, and notice now it's going to post that question in there, and I can tell who's done the assignment, who's not done the assignment as I add students, and we'll look at that here in a little bit, what it looks like on the student side for this class. You can kind of see what that looks and feels like. And so that's one option in there, is to post a question. Another thing I could do in this class is I could have the students receive announcements from me as the instructor. And so if I click on the little plus in the bottom right hand corner, another option is, notice you can create an announcement. So you can put all kinds of information in there. Hey, don't forget about this. Please review that. Just whatever it is you want to put into that class. Notice it's going to this tech class, but if I had more than one class I was teaching, for the same subject in different sections of that, I could put a check and do, kind of a broadcast announcement to all of those classes, which I think is kind of cool. So you can just go in here, you can post, whatever you want to have in there, do some positive things. Hey, there we go. And you can do an announcement, and you simply click on post. Of course, you can add other things in there to an announcement as well. So I'm simply going to just put a post in there, just a simple announcement, and notice I can go in there and move it to the top. I can delete it, edit it, whatever for that. And so adding announcements is just another part of the Google Classroom in there as well. I can also add assignments. And so I've gone into my Google Docs and I've created a Google Doc with some questions in there dealing with my topic on critical thinking skills. And so I'm going to throw that in there for the students to go and use in their classroom as an assignment. So I'm going to click on my plus here at the bottom right, and notice I have another option is to create an assignment. And this assignment is, I'm going to have them answer some questions on the critical thinking. Okay, so I'm going to have them answer some questions. I could add a description in there, whatever I want it to be. Obviously, put that in there. And then this icon right here beside the attach is the Google Drive. So if I click on that, it's going to take me into my Google Drive. And I've got some different folders that I've created for some things that I've been working on. And if I go into my classroom, you can see I've got a folder for each of my classes that I'm teaching. And here's my tech class right now. And so in there, I've created a Google Docs with some questions, and there it is. And so if I click on that and I go to add, then it's going to add that document into this classroom as an assignment. And notice that you could, if you wanted all the students, they could view the file, the students can edit that file, or if you want each of them to have their own copy, I can select that, make a copy for each student. So as the student goes into the class, they see it, they open it up, they have their own Google Docs document, they can answer the questions and go from there. And again, I'll show you a little bit later what that looks like for the student. And I simply can assign it as an assignment for the class. Notice it has a due date, and I could change that due date to whatever. And so it's just another cool way, very easily, to get stuff in there. And again, once the students complete the assignment, you'll get notified when they've got it done. They can post whether they're done, they're not done. Then of course you can go and assess it in this interface. No email attachment, no Dropbox, no any of that in here. So it makes it a lot easier. So hope that helps. Those are just some different things you can do in terms of posting those kinds of comments or questions and assignments. The last thing I'm going to show you is how you can add a video off of a YouTube site in here as well. And so we'll take a look at that next. This tutorial is going to show you how to download a YouTube video. There's different ways to do it, obviously, but one of the easiest I found is to use this little tool that's on the web. So we're going to download YouTube, because obviously the students currently in our school district don't have access to YouTube. The teachers do, but you can download the video, then attach it to a Google Classroom, then the students can watch it as part of an assignment or whatever. And obviously you can add other kinds of video, whether you create something with iMovie or if you create a recording using QuickTime, which I'm doing, using a screen capture for these tutorials. You could use the camera on your computer or your iPad as well. And so you have a lot of options to get some tutorials put together for the students. So I've gone to a YouTube video. This is one I've created and uploaded on that Genius Scan. So I'm just going to use this for my example. Notice up here at the top is the URL for that video. And the easy way, I think, to download that is simply click and put your cursor before the Y in YouTube and add the letters SS. And once you do that, then it's going to take you to a downloader for getting this video downloaded on your computer. So I'm going to hit return on my keyboard. It's going to take me over here. Notice it's kind of looking at it. And MP4 is fine for the format. Of course, you can change it if you wanted to, but I'm going to keep it smaller. It doesn't need to be that big. And so I'm going to click on download, and now it's going to download that to my computer. And got me a little notice right there. That's fine. And so now you can see it's downloaded to my computer, and it puts it into the download on that computer. If I go to my Finder on my computer and look at it. There's the Genius Scan tutorial. You can see I downloaded it, and there's the size of it. So it's 54.8 meg. And so now once I've got it downloaded, then I'm going to show you, secondly, is how to add that to Google Classroom. So we'll go there next. Okay, so if I want to add a video, and I'm going to show you how to add the video I downloaded off of YouTube, again using SS in front of U or the Y in YouTube. And so I'm going to add that as an assignment for the students to watch. Again, you can do other videos, obviously, from other resources, and a lot of options out there to add content for the students. So I'm going to click on the plus down here at the bottom. I'm going to add this as an assignment. So I'm going to click on assignment in here. So I want them to watch this video on, this one's on Genius Scan. And I could put some more information in it, description of the assignment. I could put more things in there. And you can add more than one item into an assignment. So this could be a video, then I could have some questions. So I could add other content in there as well. So I'm just going to leave this as is. So I'm going to keep this one pretty simple. Notice you can put a due date in there. And my video currently is not in my drive. It's just on my computer. So again, I'm going to select the attachment. And so it's on my computer. I'm going to select upload, select files from my computer. Remember, it's in my downloads. That's where I downloaded it. And there it is, Genius Scan. It's an MP4 video. So I'm going to select that and tell it to upload. And so that's going to add that in there. I have one more thing I got to do down below. You can see it's 52.6 or 52.26 megabyte. That's pretty small, and I tell it to upload. And notice now, see this little status is showing me it's going to upload that not only to my Google Classroom, but it's also going to put it in my Google Drive. So it's there later if I want to use it for something else. You've got quite a bit of storage in your Google Drive. I think it's like 25 gigabyte. So you can put quite a bit of stuff in there, but eventually you might need to clean it out if you start running low on space. But there it is. And again, I could add other things in there if I wanted to. I could put there's a link to a URL. Maybe I want to have them go check out another website. But I'm just going to assign this one, and notice students can view the file. There was my option right there. And so now you can see it's adding it to my Google Classroom. You can see it adds a status update in the classroom there. And so that's another resource that I think is pretty powerful, because now you can get the students to view YouTube videos with your control, what access you want them to have access to. So one thing I didn't show you in the very top left of this class, if you click on that, if you have more than one class in your Google Classroom, you can see that's a quick way to switch between different classes. The one thing that happens often in Google Classroom, that's just the thing you got to get used to, is every time you open up different things, like whether it's a doc or comments or questions, whatever, notice it's adding different tabs up here at the top. And so that's kind of your navigation back and forth between the different things that are going on. And then you just kind of have to close those as you're done with them and so forth. So, but that's how to add a video into your Google Classroom, and hope that helps. In this tutorial, I'm going to take you through what it looks like for a student to log into a Google Classroom and enroll in a course, and then some basic views of some assignments that have been put out here for the student. And so I'm going to select Google or the Classroom on this iPad. And don't forget, the student's login is their last name _ first name at eldoradoschools.org, and their Tech ID password that they use for a variety of apps here and programs at El Dorado Public Schools. I'm going to log in with this generic account for demonstration purposes. So I'm going to log in to the class. This account currently on this iPad is not enrolled in a class, so there in the top right hand is a little plus. So I'm going to select the plus. And remember, when you create a course for Google Classroom, you get that little 6-digit code. You would share that with the students, and then the students can enroll in that class. So I'm going to tell it to just to join the class, and once it does, the student logs in, gets that same view you see on the computer as well. You've got the three tabs at the top, which are the stream, which are assignments for the student. And you can see, I've got the PDF there at the bottom, put a little comment there at the middle. There's a Google Doc we added, and then a video for them to watch in there as well. And so, those are available. They can see what classmates are in the course, and of course about or anything you put about the class that you want. There in the top left-hand corner on the iPad, you can see there are other classes that maybe they're participating in. Of course, they get the calendar. Anytime they enroll in a course, they get a folder created in their Google Drive called Classroom Folders. And that's where all their information, when they create a Google Doc or Sheets or whatever, it gets saved into that. And so that's a pretty nice feature in there as well. And so when they are in this class, as you assign things to the students, notice they kind of get that same view. And you can see, for instance, the bottom is a PDF. Notice it's an attachment, and I wanted to add some comments in there for this, and so they could open up the attachment. You simply tap on the attachment, notice the PDF, and you can click on it. It's actually going to put it and bring it from their Google Drive, and there it is. And so here's the PDF. Of course, you can annotate over the top different things with it. And if I double click on my iPad into multitask mode, I can switch back and go back into my classroom view. Of course, they could add comments there at the bottom if you wanted to add comments for this activity or whatever. If you want them to go into that Google Docs, keep in mind there are different apps required. So if it's a Google Doc, the students have to have Google Docs on their iPad, which we have pushed out to all the iPads. And so if they tap on that assignment, it's going to open up, and there it is. That little blue icon means there is a Google Docs assignment for it. Notice it's automatically going to rename that. And so this is critical thinking skills under the Apple account, which is the user for this. And so if I tap on that, it's going to take me over into Google Docs, where I can open that file, and then obviously I can edit that file in here. Open up the keyboard, I can type and edit. You can add comments, a lot of different things in there. Just traditional word processing they can add in there. Once they've completed that, if they go back into their classroom, and I go back over here, then notice they can turn it in. So once they've added that, they can turn in that assignment. Then the teacher gets notified that, hey, the assignment's been turned in. If they want to unsubmit it, they have that capability to do that as well. And so you can also notice I've allowed the students in this one to add a class comment. So maybe if you wanted to add that in there, they can do that as well. And then the other feature that we were looking at is I've added a YouTube. If you recall, I downloaded a YouTube video, added it to my Google Drive, attached it to the class, and now the students should be able to watch that coming off of their Google Classroom. And so it's going to open up in their Google Drive, let them go in and watch the video, and there it's playing, and they're off and going. And so they have the ability to watch it when they're ready. And keep in mind that these videos could be something you've created on some specific standards, some specific things you want them to know and learn, and they could go back and watch that as many times as they need to. That's what's incredibly important about this. Or if they're at home, and not there for a couple days, obviously they have access to that as well. And so that's what's so powerful about this as well, and your ability to create those activities for them. And so just some basic things that are going on in Google Classroom. Again, the nice feature is your ability to assign. Students can see the assignment, they can see when it's due, you can see when it's submitted. All those things are some really nice features about this, what we call a true learning management system. And so it's really come a long way, and they keep adding more and more features. And this is only the tip of the iceberg. And obviously, there's some other really cool features we can look at later. And we've got some teachers obviously already utilizing some of those as well. And so we'll take a look at those at a later time. Take care. Okay, in this tutorial I'm going to show you what it looks like for a student to log into their Google Classroom from a computer, enroll in a class, and then kind of participate in some of the activities that I put into that my tech class that I'm using for this tutorial. And so, from eldoradoschools.org, remember all the students have a login from the Gmail link right there. It's just gmail.com. They can click on that, or just go to gmail.com in any web browser. It doesn't really matter, Safari or Google, and get to it that way. The student login, if you recall, is their last name _ first name at eldoradoschools.org. Their password's their tech password they use for a variety of things here at the school district. I'm going to log in just with my little test account that I've created for training purposes, and my little Apple account here. And once you get logged into their mail, the students have the same Google Apps icon there in the top right, just like teachers do. And so if they click on Google Apps, you'll see all the different apps that they have access to. They don't have YouTube, but this account does. And then you go on down to Classroom, is where we want to go to log in. They can also go to classroom.google.com. That's another way, but I think it's best that they go through their mail, so they just make sure they're good to go getting into their email as well. And there in the top right hand corner is a little plus. And if you click on the plus, it allows you to enroll into a class. And so the enrollment code, if you recall, once you set up a class, is right there in the bottom left hand corner. If you click on About, it lists what that code is as well. And so I'm going to enter that 6-digit code, and you just provide that to the students, and they can just simply join the class to participate. And so once they log in, you can see they get the same view. They've got the view, banner up here at the top that I picked, and then you can see they've got a stream, just those 3 tabs, just like we saw before, which here's the assignments and activities that I've assigned to the class so far. Then click on Classmates and see who else is in the class, and About, and see some basic information you've put in there about the class. There in the top left also, you click on that, you can see other courses that they are participating in at any given time. And so those are in there also. And then if you go back to the stream and look at some of the assignments that I put out there just for demonstration purposes, there's that PDF. So the students could click on the PDF. It opens up as a different tab, and then allows them to check out the document. They can go back into the Tech Class tab, put a comment in there or whatever it is you're asking them to do. Notice it has a due date in there, and so they can enter that in there. They click Submit, and then you get notified that they've added something to the class. There's a little Have a Great Day comment. Here is the Google Docs, and it could be other types of Google Apps as well, but this is a Google Docs. I put some questions in there, and if you recall, I asked that to open for the students as a separate copy. And so every student that opens it up gets their own copy of those questions that I already posted. And so you can open this up, and I'm going to click on this just so you can see what it looks like. I'd already opened this one, so I'm just going to discard that copy. Notice that it renames it when it does that. So here's that same file, but it put my account at the end of it as the name. So if I click on that, it's going to open up that Google Docs assignment. I can come in here now and make comments or answer the questions, whatever. Notice as soon as I start doing that, then up here at the top, once I'm done, I get that option to turn it in. I can also add comments, I can share, I can do lots of things with that. But then I can turn that in to the teacher. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. and turn that in just so you can kind of see what it looks like. And so once I've done that, it says, hey, are you sure you want to do this? Yeah, I do. I want to turn that in. Now on the teacher side, I will see in that course for that assignment that I've got one student done, and so that will change in there. And so that way I know who's done the assignment. I can always click on that and see who's done it, who hasn't done it. How easy is that versus going and fiddling through all the papers and trying to figure that out? You know, it's a quick view, and so that's why this is really, really powerful from that standpoint. And if they want to unsubmit, notice I have that option to do that as well. So they can always submit it and then change their mind and go back out of there as well. So that's kind of cool. They have that capability in there as well. Okay, and so I'm going to go back out of here to my class. And notice I also gave them a video to watch, which is a YouTube video I downloaded, and I added it to my Google Drive, assigned it to this class. If they click on that video right there, it's going to open up in another tab. There it is. And then each student can play this at their own leisure when they're ready. And so then if I had some questions, whatever, I could have them submit that as part of it as well. And so the whole fact that it has that ease of use, that no more trying to attach files to email or put in a Dropbox, put it in some shared folder. This is a true LMS, which is where we want to be. Something we were trying to do a couple of years ago with My Big Campus, but it just never did materialize like we wanted to. And so I think it just makes it a nice platform for teachers and students to interact. So it's got a lot of power in there. So that's what it looks like for the computer. Take care. Okay, the last thing I wanted to show you just quickly here is just what it looks like when students submit work and some of the things you can do with that. And so as you can see down below, I had a little PDF for the students to complete. And then I can see now that the one student that I have has completed that. I can click on that and see that he's or he or she has looked at the PDF, and then they've submitted their response, and there it is, and I can actually reply to it if I wanted to. All takes place within the Google Classroom. I had them watch a little video, and I can see that they had marked that as done, having watched it. Didn't add a comment, but had they done that, they'd been in there as well. So I can click on that. I can see who's watched it and who's not. And of course, this person was late in getting it turned in, and but that's kind of cool. You can check that out as well. And then if you look at this one up here on the Google Docs that they submitted, if you recall, I had each student create their own copy, and you can see that is there. And you can always edit this, so that's the cool piece about this. So if you ever change your mind in a class and you want it to be more collaborative or whatever, you can do that. But I can click on Done and look at what they have submitted. Again, they got it done late, but story of my life. And if I click on the Apple account Google Doc, you can see this is the work they had submitted. And so here's their answers, pretty generic, just a little test thing I'm doing here. But I have the ability to add comments, add notifications. But check this out, I can also go into editing. And so I can edit the document directly, or I can just simply make suggestions on there, which is pretty cool. And so as you make suggestions, it'll mark it differently. Right, and so you can type in those and make those suggestions, and it goes back to the student, and then you have that ability to dialogue back and forth, all on the same document. And again, no emailing. They're getting notified that you're asking some things and so forth, and so it becomes a nice solution for that. And so that's kind of cool how you can do that. You click on that, and now you've added some suggestions in there for that. And so then I just can drop back out to my classroom and and I could go look at another student's work and so forth. So I notice up at the top you can assign points values for things and so forth with it as well. And so ungraded, graded, what the value is for it, and so forth. So a lot of different options in there. If different things you can do. You can, some teachers, of course, we're a power school district, and so, has some different things you can do with the grades there as well. So just different things you can do in here. Again, there's a lot of help items there at the bottom left. What's new, send feedback, ask a question, get help. Different things you want to do with the Google Classroom. There's just a lot of good information there. And for heaven's sakes, you can Google it. So good luck.